Hi, welcome. You have found Light Not Might, the podcast that we're live streaming today. And the series is called Mother Nature is a Life Coach. And this is our fourth episode, but remember, you don't need to consume these in order. This is completely random content, and I'm super excited that you're here today because we're going to talk about the moon. We're going to talk about the planets. And it's such a special time. Today in real life, it's February 21st, 2021. And we're super excited because the rover called Perseverance has landed on Mars to collect samples and help us understand what kind of microbes and, primordial organisms we might be finding. We might learn that the comets that bumped into Earth with our primordial ooze perhaps also bonked into Mars, maybe came from Mars, maybe you're a Martian. We don't know. We're going to find out soon. And so this week has been so exciting. I'm so inspired by this, and I hope that you are having an inspiring week too. So get your cup of tea and get cozy because we're going to hang out for like an hour here talking about how Mother Nature is your life coach. And she's got her schedule posted on the cosmic refrigerator and is kept in order by her buddy, the moon. Think about it. It's a real yin concept. The feminine organization and order and ceremony and ritual behind the universe, especially for those of us living here on Earth, the time is kept orderly by the moon. She has 9 different phases and a 28-day cycle. And when you align with what she's doing, you have more fun. Mother Nature is a life coach. The memo here is that here you are, it's 2021. You're probably working from home. You're probably interacting with a lot of tech. Maybe your schedule is wide open and you're just kind of rolling like you feel like. Maybe you've got yourself on a schedule. Maybe your family has a little routine. Maybe you in your little spaceship, in terms of your house, hurtling through your own personal universe. Maybe you've got a rhythm going, and I hope you have. That's the way that we can accomplish everything we need to do and live with greater peace and ease. But over here on Planet Yoga and mindfulness and just kind of the ideas that I like to think about, I'm excited for you to consider that you might take some support from Mother Nature and align with her little schedule keeper, the moon, so that you can align and shine. I'm so excited that you're here. Light Not Might is the podcast that I'm so excited drops every Monday as hopefully a way for you to be inspired. And we're going to talk about the days of the week. We're going to talk about the planets that influence each day of the week and how each one has a theme, so that left to your own devices, when you have the ability to set your own agenda and schedule and routines, you could lean into some of these themes and get more done, have more fun, and live with greater peace and ease. That's what we're promising you here with this 20-part series called Mother Nature is a Life Coach. I'm your host, Danielle Day. I'm joined, as always, with my husband, Greg, who is producing this. He's done all the lighting and all of the set design, and he's doing all the tech, and I'm just so very grateful. It's our favorite thing to do together on a Sunday afternoon. And so, enjoying some tea here, my favorite little mug with the moon on it. I'm so happy you're here. When I sit down to create one of these pieces, I always think, okay, we got an hour and we have a theme. And what is it that I'm hoping to accomplish? Who is it that I'm hoping to help? I just love that by the miracle of this YouTube algorithm, you have found this. It found you. And that you are on some sort of tear right now to find high vibration content. And this is what you've got going. So welcome. Open Up Yoga Teacher Training is my official business. I wrote a book called Light 10 Up, 10 Lifestyle Essentials to Glow by Danielle. It's available on Amazon. And I'm just here in my house working from home, just like you are. And let's have some fun together, okay? So let's get started properly. You want to sit up straight. You want to put your feet flat onto the ground, the floor. Roll your shoulders back. Turn your palms up for receiving good energy. Close your eyes. And just observe the whisper of the breath flowing effortlessly. Kind of get a sense of what it feels like to be breathing inside your body today. And as you hang out a little bit longer on an exhale, maybe just sort of tour the facility inside. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What are you noticing inside your earth suit today? All right, open your eyes and welcome back. That's the thing, without closing your eyes and really attending to your beautiful breathing flowing in and out, you really are transcending time and space at any given moment. And when you stop, drop, and find a second to really experience the fact that you are alive on a spinning planet going about 6,000 miles an hour, then you're really here and you're really now and you're really present. So super excited to spend some time with you today. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. It's my favorite thing to do. So here's the thing. Mother Nature, she's a life coach, and she's got some strategies for you to achieve greater peace and ease. And you think about the moon, whether you see the moon or not, understand she's got an influence over you and your life force and the 60% water that is comprising your earth suit, the body that has brought you to this day. And the whole thing here is life in the 21st century, especially with technology and our different demands with work and home and family, kind of runs on a bit of a linear situation, right? Where you are starting, you're moving forward, and you're finishing your tasks in order, maybe multiple things at once. And the thing about the moon is, though, think about it, she's on a 28-day cycle, and a month can be anywhere from 28 to 31 days. And so that right there kind of puts us a little bit at odds with the constructs of what we consider to be time, the story that we all ascribe to, this whole notion of time. And so it's a little countercultural already to be grooving with what the moon has going on instead of what society has going on. So just kind of like understand, we're going to set aside a little grace just on that note there with the 28-day cycle. There's 9 phases of the moon, and today being February 21st, 2021, you are about 5 days away from a full moon, the one that's called the storm moon or the worm moon. March is ushering in a moon that is going to be kind of a big deal. Think about it. March 1st, 2020 is when I know I went into phase 1 lockdown for the coronavirus quarantine. So dude, you've been at this for a year. Okay. How you doing? How you doing today? It took me probably a good 9 months to figure myself out. So that's another reason I'm so excited about these pieces that we're creating. I have finally figured out how to flow and glow in accordance with Mother Nature, my life coach. And this is just what I'm just so excited to share with you. I think about, well, who's my audience? And I think, well, it's anybody that's searching for high vibration content. And who do I really think about when I make these pieces? I think about my friends who have jobs, who have families, who have children, and, they have goals. And I see them achieve different levels of efficacy and success at said goals, given a little bit of ping pong, billiard ball kind of like energy where they are maybe reacting more to outside forces instead of like being a little more proactive and initiating and setting their intentions every day. So this whole thing I want to share with you on this, amazing moment of discovery where we actually kind of put human beings on Mars pretty much this week, and that we're coming into a full moon pretty much soon this week. And we're in a wonderful period where we can kind of just take a second and think about these things. What does all this mean? So you want to think about different areas of your life: relationships, money, career, health, and path, like your journey. Okay. So these areas, when you are dealing with questions that you have, goals that you're setting, and items that you are working on in these realms of relationships, money, career, health, or just your general journey in life, if you take Mother Nature, your life coach, up on some support, you can flow with greater peace and ease. And one of the things I'm excited to talk to you about are the phases of the moon. But the other thing I want to talk to you about is the themes of the week and which planets govern each day of the week, and how if you align your efforts with those themes, you might get a little bit more done and have a little more fun. Okay, so let's let that sink in for a second. We take a little sip. And so let's go for it. The full moon that we're going to have here in about 5 days is all about fulfilling and embodying your Dharma. So when you have the ability to make appointments or initiate projects, or like set an agenda and a schedule around what you're working on, you do very well to align with the phases of the moon. I'm working on a new project with a dear friend that I absolutely cannot wait to reconnect with. And we were chatting over Instagram this week about the best time to meet. She was like, okay, I'm in the middle of this right now. And I'm like, okay, well, let's not even get into this until the full moon. So we have an appointment on the 27th to chat because I have kind of a showstopper idea that I want to run by her. And it doesn't really do to throw that at her right now. Right now, we're in a waxing phase where, yeah, it is a good time to evaluate and refine and develop. But I don't want to bring her an unfinished product, So this is where we're at. The phase of the moon right now is that we are in a waxing period after the whole thing that we call the first quarter, where you have built up from the seeds of the new moon that we got to celebrate Gong Hee Fa Choi on the 12th, when it was this whole brand new Lunar New Year. And so you're building in this phase. So this is a good time to acquire information. This is a great time to develop and do research and be gathering. Does that make sense? After the full moon, that's a time of disseminating and sharing and reaping a harvest, as well as, giving away and letting go and releasing the seeds and the fruits of your good work. And so you do well to follow these phases. So let's start from the beginning. Full moon. You want to be really standing in the spotlight. Think about the energy around a full moon as a huge accomplishment. It's a time to post about your successes. Step into the spotlight, whether you feel like you're still becoming or you're still achieving, you're still working on something. Just own it. Make a plan. Look at the calendar. Find out what day, date, and time in your specific time zone. Here we are in the Pacific here, but I know everybody else is in probably a different place. The thing is, you find out when it happens for you and plan things accordingly. The next phase after the moon is full, it's kind of like you're cleaning up after the party. This is a waxing, it changes to waning, where this is the time to disseminate your efforts, your good work. So say that you just accomplished a project. This is then when you follow up with the people who received the information and you check in to see if they have any questions. You offer them some additional resources. This is a time where you're sharing. You got a chance to reap the harvest. Now it's you helping other people get what they need for their journey based on your good work. Okay. After that, then, is what we call the last quarter. This is when the moon starts to get smaller. And this is a shedding and a releasing time. Now, there's still a bunch of moon there. This is kind of like, it's not the crescent yet. No, it's kind of like the halfway guy. This is a time where you're thinking about, you're getting out the messaging, you're sending out the information. And this is a good time to be preparing for completing the cycle. The next phase is the balsamic crescent moon. That's where you complete and get ready to reseed. I like during this period to really step up my efforts on my nutrition, because I know that if I maybe eat less sugar, consume less alcohol, exercise a little bit more, get a little more sleep, and really redouble my efforts on my water, I will lose a little more weight between the last quarter and the new moon. So I'm on a group chat with some really cool friends. We're maintaining spreadsheets about our efforts. I sent out a message earlier in the week and I said, you guys, we are riding this energy of the whole time. We're shedding and releasing. In the last quarter is the time to really feel good about the results that you're going to get. It's a great time to diet. When you get to that balsamic crescent moon, where there's that sliver of light, you're going to be getting into the dark phase. Guys, this is my very favorite part of the lunar cycle. I know that it's a time to go through my closets and find clothes and shoes and accessories I no longer use, and I get ready to donate them, to release them to the universe. I just want to keep what I need for my dharma and release the rest. So it's between that balsamic crescent and the dark period before the new moon, that letting go. It's just a healthy time. So, those junk drawers that need reorganized, or the sock drawer that needs figured out, you do very well in the phase of the moon that we call that balsamic crescent, where it's just, almost going away. Okay, now let's talk about the fifth phase, the dark phase. This is before the new moon. On some calendars, you'll see it. It looks just like a black circle. Sometimes people call that the new moon, but it's not. It's just complete darkness. This is my favorite part. This is the time to make wishes. This is the time to set intentions. This is the time to not share any good ideas. And it's not the time to start anything new. You are encouraged once a month during this dark phase to hunker down. I love turning off as many of my electronic devices as I can and just kind of get hibernating a little bit. Even if it's the dead of summer, I love the dark phase where I can just reorganize some drawers, get rid of some excess things that I don't need anymore, clean out the fridge, and not even really make new plans, but just sort of allow myself a lot of space, a lot of stillness. You know me, I like to get up at 4:00 in the morning, do my yoga practice at around 6:30 in the morning. So I have like this big block of time every day to like lean into the theme. When it is the dark phase before a new moon, it's my favorite time to journal. It's my favorite time to just meditate a little bit longer. My standard daily meditation is 15 minutes quietly, just sitting in one place with my little phone watch, doing my Apple Watch, setting and keeping the time so that I know I don't have to look at the clock, but that I have 15 minutes. Well, during this phase before the new moon, I like to extend that to about 30 minutes, just puttering through my home, through my house, no plans, no people, no talking, no information, no podcasts on my headphones, nothing on the TV, just being still and quiet. I won't even draw oracle cards. I'm not even going to ask the angels what's in store for me. I like it. I let it come to me. I looked up a couple of weeks ago. My husband will tell you, I just had a hunch. We lost our dog in September and this is February. I was asking myself, I was like, when did we lose him in terms of a lunar cycle? I had a hunch and I looked it up, and sure enough, September 17th, 2020 was the dark phase before a new moon. I like to think that the door was wide open and the angels, they all came to him and they said, okay, buddy, it's time to go. So the thing about this phase is it's like a rebirth. It's like starting over. It's somewhere between all the arrivals and the departures. And so I love that phase. All right. So then when it is the new moon and there's that little first sliver of light, that's the time to plant some new seeds. That's the time to really choose what you're going to work on for that month. Like, what is it that you're doing in terms of relationships? Do you have a first date coming up? I telling you this, if you choose to meet somebody new, look at the calendar, see if you can put off a first meeting until a new moon, not a dark phase and not something that's on the way down, from full moon to new moon, but see if you can plan it. How about money? Are you starting a new savings goal? Well, see about putting those first little pennies, tucking them away on the new moon, something that's on the way up, building. What about career? If you have a chance to interview for a job, or you're looking at changing jobs, or, like I was planning with a new business venture, see if you can do it on a really auspicious time where you have that wide open space of a brand new moon to jump onto. Every time we started teacher training on a new moon, always went better. I did 57 sessions of my 200-hour program over the last 10 years prior to the pandemic. And I'm telling you, the sessions that we just purposely started on a new moon, they always went better. They always did. That was really fun. Okay, health. Again, if you're starting a new exercise program, if you're starting a new nutrition strategy, if you're turning over a new leaf, turn it over on a new moon. It always goes better. So whatever you're doing in your journey and your path, your goals in life, align with the phases of the moon so that you have that going for you too. So there you go. The new moon is all about beginning and making plans. And then when you get to that first quarter, it's where it's about a halfway full moon. That's when you take action. So your action steps. So like in my example about collaboration with a business partner, in our agenda items that are action items of like, okay, next time we talk, you'll have done this, this, and this. I'll have done this, this, and this. You want to be just taking action, striking while the iron is hot on the first quarter. Okay. So that's when the moon's moving from being new to being at that halfway point. So the waxing energy of the moon growing in strength and developing like a little seed into a great big tree, it's that period of time after first quarter to full where you're evaluating, you're refining and developing. So in my earlier scenario, that's where I am at right now. I was telling my husband, I was like, I have some things I want to run by you. Got like 6 new ideas. But again, I'm in that phase of evaluating and refining and developing. So when the full moon happens around the 27th, this is going to be the time to just showcase what's going on. So hopefully that helps you kind of think about relationships. What are you doing? Are you looking for somebody to see that is a brand new relationship? Are you looking to change something up in your routine in your existing relationship? Your children, are they starting new projects? Do they have things that they're having to finish up? See how your relationships can be enhanced by adhering to Mother Nature's little schedule there with the moon, the cosmic calendar on her refrigerator, so to speak. With money, are you saving? Are you investing? Again, lean into these concepts. You don't want to be putting your money behind some new venture, some new investment, some new goal when the moon's going from full to new. No, that's all about depletion. No, that's a time when you would donate to charity. That's a time when you would dole out allowances to kids. That's a time when you would pay bills. Think about it. So from the new moon to the big, that's the energy that you want to jump onto, about the growth and the accumulation. So same thing with career. It's about how do you maybe have control over what's going on with your team and what projects you guys are initiating, doing, developing, finishing, Are you sharing? Are you presenting? Or are you researching and gathering and acquiring and building up before sending it away? So do you see how these themes are something you could consider? It's really fun. Your health, again, dieting, exercising, turning over a new leaf, losing some pounds. Look at that shedding and releasing energy from the full to the new. And again, whatever you've got going on in your path and you're living in your life, Mother Nature, she's your life coach and she's here to help you. So I hope that helps you with strategies surrounding just the phase of the moon. And again, you do not have to see the moon to notice the effects. You know, sometimes a full moon will strike like in the middle of the day. I always set my phone so that I know when it's happening so that we can all just like stop and celebrate. Of course, if you can go outside and experience a full moon, that's when you always want to take all your crystals and put them outside so they can recharge, especially new ones that you have bought. They always get their biggest burst of energy on a new moon. If you buy crystals and they're brand new and they're just like new to you, you would never want to put them outside in a waning moon. That's going to take out their power. So hopefully this helps you kind of think about how you can recharge your cosmic batteries this way. All right, so let's talk about the other planets. I love looking at each day of the week and what planet governs each day so that I can make choices about what I plan for that day or what I do that day or what I emphasize, what I prioritize that day. So let's start from the beginning. Let's start from Monday. New moon on Monday. That's a Duran Duran song. So people in our demographic, classic rockers, we appreciate this memo. The whole thing about Monday is it is a moon day. It is governed by that planet. And I know it's just fun to call the moon a planet. The idea is that there she is setting up the calendar for you and you can lean into what phase she's got going on. But the whole thing about Monday, psychic endeavors, a real opportunity for you on a Monday morning before your meditation, before your practice, early in the morning, before your family has awakened, before you have job to report to, before you even work out, the you time, right? Somewhere between you waking up and putting your feet on the floor and you being accountable to the rest of the world. So whatever span of time that is for you, hopefully you can do what you can to make that a bigger thing. That's why I'm saying getting up early and having the me time. On a Monday, that's the day to draw a card. That's the day to grab your oracle cards and see what's in store for you. No matter what kind of deck you use, always treat your oracle cards like a small living thing and understand that you're not to approach your oracle cards with like an agenda. You never want to come at it attached to an outcome because that'll mess it up. So if you feel like you're flipping a coin, so to speak, and you want an answer, that's not the time to draw a card. That's kind of like abusing the privilege of having oracle cards. You guys, you got to understand this. This is the realm of your subconscious. When you play on the right hemisphere of your brain, this is where you learn more about yourself. So when you go to draw a card, you know, you shuffle them and you maybe spread them out and you just like put your hand over and you just see what one do you want to grab today? You can't make a wrong choice. Don't feel like there's ever a bad card. It's always going to be information that is offered to you. And it always resonates. Always. There's a million decks out there. If you're shopping and you want to have some recommendations, my yoga teacher training alumni Leslie Chinowiski sells a deck called Soul Navigation cards that I gave away to a graduating teacher trainee who moved to Hawaii. So I don't have my deck and I pine for them still. I must buy another pack. Anyway, that one's a good one. And I love how she encourages us to grab 3, where you put 3 cards out. One's for the past, one's for the present, one's for the future. And the other day on a Facebook memory, I saw a result that I drew about 7 years ago. I loved this. It was so good. So I posted it. The past said obstacles. And at the time, you know, this was about 2014. I was like, dang, because I had A lot of life changes between 2010 and 2014. So I was like, yeah, obstacles for sure. The present card said abundance. And I was like, because that's the point at which I owned my own yoga studio. And I was enjoying teaching 10 to 12 classes a week and doing yoga teacher training on the weekends for all of the fun and profit therein. Very fun. So abundance was the deal. That was the order of the day. And so I was really happy to see that card. But the future card was the universe. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I went through a bunch of obstacles. I'm currently now enjoying a lot of abundance. And sure enough, what do I get in the future? Just the universe. I was so happy. But it's fun because, you see how it resonates with you. Whatever answers you come up and ascribe to the cards you've drawn, that's your subconscious talking to you. Your subconscious always wants to be right. That's the power of playing in your right hemisphere. So on a Monday morning, consider yourself imbued with a little bit of higher consciousness. Consider yourself on a Monday morning just a little more open to magical divination. That's the day to lean into being a little psychic. I have this practice of asking the smart speaker what my horoscope is, like first thing in the morning when I'm getting the cats fed and I'm making coffee. But then I'll also check back in around lunchtime to ask what it is, because A, I've probably forgotten. And secondly, it's like, have I been kind of like in that mode of what the theme was? And I love when I'm already maybe on that page and then I hear what it was or what it is and it aligns. That's what oracle cards are for, where you just are like, okay, guys, what do you want me to know? And the angels are there to help you. There's an angel card deck I love, Doreen Virtue. And that deck of cards is amazing. It has 52 angels in it. And they'll tell you what's up, and there's different ways that you can draw the cards. I just like to spread them out, put my hand over and see what feels good, grab one and say, okay, guys, what's going on? And there's additional information in a little booklet. It's Mondays, it's kind of like, makes sense, right? It's a whole new week. So really lean into being a little psychic and a little open to the magic. And that's what we do on Monday mornings, okay? Because it's ruled by the moon, and she's just always there for you. She loves you. She's the divine feminine, the yin to the sun's yang. And I just love all of the romance. I am a Cancer, and so my ruling planet is the moon, but I just was very, very just enamored with the scene in Arthur when Liza Minnelli's telling Arthur Dudley Moore, when I was a child, I thought the moon followed me. And don't you remember being a kid in a car and watching, there was the big old full moon just following the station wagon from Grandma's house in Issaquah all the way to Bellevue, Washington. It felt like such a long drive after a family event or whatever. And just watching the moon just follow the car. Do you ever remember those feelings? Well, she's looking out for you just like that, just like that. And so here we are. Jaded grown-ups who need the reminder of how magical life really is so that we can live with greater peace and ease. And that's what we're doing here. All right, so Tuesdays. Now, Tuesday is ruled by Mars. And so the theme here is it's a little bit more about building strength and building confidence. My best friend and I lift weights on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I just feel like Tuesday is the day to pick up weights. I love using this really masculine energy of Mars about just building my strength, doing things to make me feel a little bit more confident. On my running program, I run long on Sunday, kind of do a little rest, sort of active recovery on Monday. Tuesday, I like to hit it like I want to just go shorter duration, but higher intensity, so I can be building my strength. You can't build your strength every day. This is all about the ebb and flow of giving your body the exercise stimulus. So then it incorporates the stimulus and you get the response. You can't just always redline it, and you can't always just chill. It's about the ebb and the flow. So on Tuesdays, you're encouraged to hit it hard. I like to think about how the routines in the gym were always the same. I was a personal trainer and I was in a very big facility with tons of members. And you could see everybody on Monday, it was like National Bench Press Day on Mondays. But on Tuesdays, what did everybody do? Legs. And so, yeah, it's about building strength and confidence. So think about what you could arrange in your week on a Tuesday that has to do with really showing up. You know, it would be a situation where I don't know that I would like pitch a presentation at work on a Tuesday unless it was like the rehearsal for a presentation, because, you know, you're building strength and confidence. You know, I think that Tuesdays are a day where you would maybe want to have your one-on-one with your direct supervisor, because they're going to give you the guidance to help develop you, right? Does that make sense? Tuesdays, make sure that you are taking your vitamins. You know, Taco Tuesday is what we do at our house for dinner. And so, you know, really having a nice solid meal that has meat in it, you know, that just feels appropriate. We do meatless Mondays, and that just feels good, especially when we lean into that more spiritual side of like the moon day, the Monday. Tuesday, it's like, yeah, let's eat some meat. We'll have tacos, something with some real bite to it to, again, develop strength and confidence. Okay, so now Wednesday is ruled by Mercury. Now think about Mercury. This is all about the planet that's just a little smaller, right? And it's just got maybe a little zippier. The whole thing about Mercury is like, this is a day for your career. So business pursuits. Wednesdays are the days that you would consider having like a meeting. Marketing is great to do on Wednesdays. You know, when you're really researching and developing different avenues for your life's path, Wednesday's a day to kind of take care of some business with business in mind. You know, Mercury has a different kind of energy. And so instead of like being more spiritual like a Monday or being really strong and badass like a Tuesday, Wednesday, think about it as just like a taking care of business kind of day. That's a really good time to really lean in to your essentials for marketing or for job hunting, or I would set up an interview more like on a Wednesday. You know, Tuesday, you know, with the strength and confidence building theme, you might role play your job interview with a mentor or a friend. But I would set it for Wednesday. You know, that's a day that you really want to devote to your career, to your business, and how you would research or take action upon moving things forward there. That's the prescription under the watchful eye of Mercury on Wednesdays. And then Thursdays is ruled by Jupiter. And the whole thing about Jupiter's energy, it's this huge planet, right? Finances, any legal matters, finances and legal matters. These are really influenced and they're really enhanced when you do them on a Thursday. So if you had to run to your accountant and see them, or if you needed to deal with any kind of taxes, or if you were going to meet with your financial advisor, that's the thing that you would take care of on Thursday. You know, maybe if you were going to have a meeting with your spouse about like, okay, what's our budget? You know, are we on track for the goals that we've got going on? You know, you would do well to tackle that on a Thursday. And so that's the game plan there. Friday, you're looking at Venus. This is so sweet. Friday is a day about beautification. You know, I love the game plan that on a Friday is when you might do your beauty appointments. That's when you might go get your nails done or go to the hair salon. You know, this is a day you might tackle some interior decorating. And it makes sense. You know, we often entertain on the weekends, right? So Friday would be the day that you would really kind of like think about how to feng shui your space. You know, that the day that you might bring home some flowers when you do your grocery shopping for the week on a Friday. You know, that would be the time that you would, you know, buy some new pillows or just like change the arrangement of things in your home, making sure that you have enough candles for the romantic weekend. I love to set aside time on Friday to do my grocery shopping. And definitely I love to pick up the flowers because it's like something you're doing for yourself. I like to make sure we have enough candles. Friday is always the day to kind of take care of that. I love to get together with friends on Friday. I love to see my best friend, maybe do a little shopping for things to beautify ourselves or our home on a Friday. And this is the day that's ruled by Venus, and that's the planet of love. So getting back to this theme, like, yeah, if relationships is something front of mind and you're dating or you're looking at getting into a relationship, Friday night is the time that you get together, isn't it? You know, it's a special time of the week. It has a vibe. And that's the information here, guys, that you will lean into the vibe of any given day. It just helps you flow more naturally. So if you have the chance to set your schedule, if you have the chance to be the boss of your time, you make these decisions accordingly. You don't just be like, hey, yeah, we'll get together whenever. Oh, yeah, we'll do that whenever. No, be real smart about it. You know, my best friend, before I got on the live stream here, she sent me a little note. She was like, hey, I noticed this crystal shop is kind of by your house. And I was like, yeah, you should go. It's awesome. She's like, no, I meant for us to go together, you know, and I thought to myself, yeah, a Friday is when we would do that, because when you're shopping at a crystal store, that's a time that you're definitely choosing things to make your life more beautiful. Remember, they're the talisman of the metal element, and they are here to help you move from grief and loss to value and acceptance. And under this beautiful influence of Venus, well, what better time to do than Friday? So yay. Okay, Saturday. Now it's in the name, Saturday. Saturn rules Saturday. And I love Saturday because it's about goals. You know, Saturday is the day in my book, Light 10 Up 10 Lifestyle Essentials to Glow by Danielle Day, where we take a Saturday selfie. And that would be the day that you would turn your selfie into me as your coach, so I could help you check in with your goals. And if you're tracking to your goals, I like to post them on social media because it's my way of being accountable. I'm showcasing, at least to myself, for myself, that I'm on track. And it was a really fun thing to post a picture yesterday. It was a Saturday, and I got to celebrate being another pound down. And I got so many nice notes from people being encouraging. You know, people want to help. People want to support you. And getting a little thumbs up is just a nice little perk, you know, and it makes you feel great. And so give a thumbs up, get a thumbs up. Saturday is the day, think about it, where you plan to go to the, you know, maybe that's when you do your grocery shopping, to buy the food that you need, to make the meals, to track to your goals. Saturday is a day where you would spend some extra time with your spouse, kind of checking in with life. You know, maybe that's date night. And what's a topic that comes up? You know, you check in. You're like, well, what's going on with our kids? You know, when are we going on vacation this year? Like, how are we doing with our finances and such? You know, what are we going to order for dinner on date night here? Are we like keeping it together semi-healthy, or are we just eating for pleasure? You know, it's about your goals. I love Saturday for a day. Like, if I was going to weigh myself only one day a week, it would be a Saturday, because that would be the day that would show me, okay, how did you do Monday through Friday? Tracking to your goals, planning your meals, planning your workouts, getting in your water, getting in your sleep, managing stress, getting the strength training, getting the yoga, all the things that are helping you to build the life you want. Saturday's a day to just kind of like assess. So it's for goals. I loved that I did teacher training always on Saturday and Sunday. And on the Saturdays, we did lectures on things like anatomy. We did lectures on things like, you know, performance element, about music and timing and adjustments and dialogue. But Sundays, let's get to it. Sundays are ruled by the sun, and it's all about miracles. It's a soulful day. It's a day where a lot of religious tradition takes place, right? Sunday is a day that I know we went to church. I was raised Catholic, and in teacher training, that's the day where we would draw oracle cards. That's the day we would talk about philosophy. That's the day where we would really share about messaging and about right brain kind of dialogue and concepts that we weave into our offerings as teachers. in our living and in our life, we're loving doing this series on Sundays because hopefully this is a day that finds you with just a little extra time on your hands to think about the bigger picture. Sunday is the day that you would think about the bigger pictures, about miracles, about the big everything. And these are the days that you maybe go a little slower, where you really find yourself a little more present. I like to make soup on Sundays because it's so romantic to have like this big kettle, this pot, this crock pot, just kind of simmering, and this lovely, just soulful something to serve in the evening. It's not a day to be getting errands done. Sunday is not a day to take action. I like to get all the chores and housekeeping done, definitely by Saturday, so that Sunday can be wide open. Love doing a long run on Sunday because it is a miracle. Taking self from sedentary to a marathon is a miracle every week, to push it just a little further for the long run. It's why we go to church. It's why we see family. It's why we have family dinners. It's why we have family time. When we get back to the normal life after all of the quarantine and the COVID have passed, Sunday dinners are going to be way back in style. And maybe this time we won't be like, oh God, we got to go to Sunday dinner, these relational chores. It won't feel like a chore anymore. It'll feel like, wow, I'm so glad. We won't take things for granted anymore. And that's what I really love about this time to capture, to do these episodes called Mother Nature is a Life Coach, because this might be a time for you where you might be struggling, you might be suffering, you might be having a hard time. So leaning into the offerings of nature to give yourself support to live with greater peace and ease is definitely in style. But also this way to maybe like organize your life and your thinking and your time, your goals and your energy after it has passed. We could be wrangling with this for another good year and a half, 2 years, but we're going to be affected and touched forever. So hopefully we can stop, drop, and do some gratitude right now and set up some new mindfulness and some new practice, some new ideas, some new concepts. And the idea that on Sundays, that's the day that you really just take time to notice your blessings, to, going on a hike and being outside, not to like be on a Saturday hike, like we're going to burn some calories. It's more like, no, we're just going to go to church, whether that's in a building or if that's in the forest. The idea is to really lean into the offerings. So to summarize, let's just kind of back up for a second. We talked about some themes of your life: relationships, money, career, health, or just your general path. Let's remember that you have some elements that you can look to and lean into to get the support. When you're looking at relationships, and it's all about whether it's family or it's partner, that's your metal element, moving from grief or loss to value and acceptance, and your talisman there, your little souvenir, those are your crystals. And so that is the day of the week where we think about the psychic endeavors. So what day would you do that stuff on? Monday, where you're going to devote a little extra imagination and intention toward relationships. That's a great day to lean into the element of metal, which is symbolized by your crystals. So Monday is a great day that you might change up how you display them or organize them. Whether you have them on your desk, whether you keep them by the bathtub, maybe they are in your meditation space. I've got a little altar. I've got like several of them situated all around the home. Think about Monday as being a day where you would sit down with intention for meditation, to maybe kind of look at what crystals you have and think about, well, what's the theme I want to work on? Is it health? Is it happiness? Is it clarity? Is it psychic endeavors? Different crystals have different jobs. So Monday would be the day to kind of shuffle them around. All right, think about money. Now, if money is an issue that you're working on, that is the element of earth. That is all about the mountains. That's all about a sense of abundance. So what day would we be working on things there? Remember? Thursday, because that's ruled by Jupiter, and the efforts there finances. Remember, all about managing money or any legal matters. So Thursday is a day where you would lean into earth energy. That's the day where you would take a look at kind of that personal trainer, financial advisor, coaching energy. So thinking about, okay, money, that's a good day to set aside Thursday for talking about your budget or paying bills, something to think of, or looking at different investments. That's something to think about. Okay, so let's look at the theme about career. Now, career, we love to think about either whether you have a business or you have a job. This is about the element of fire. The element of fire, that's all about your dharma, your purpose, what you're here to do. And so what day would be governed by that? Well, I think Friday is a really good day to put some energy behind it. Remember, Friday is all about the beautification of your surroundings or yourself or your home or a date, the relationships, like about the beauty and the love, the energy of Venus. Think about efforts surrounding fire. Wednesday's the good day to think about career and to deal with efforts under Mercury's gaze. But if this is something about maybe turning over a new leaf and finding a new path and a new passion to follow, Friday might be a great day to hook up with a mentor or a friend or trusted advisor, and you might get together in the future, if you can, for a cocktail or a happy hour to see each other and strategize, that could take place. So think about health. Now, health is managing vitality. So that's definitely in the purview of the element of water. So when we think about what day of the week that would be good for, I like to think about maybe Tuesday. Remember, building strength and confidence under the watchful gaze of Mars. If there's something to do with your health, like you had to go to a doctor appointment, you had to plan a doctor appointment, or maybe there was something that you were going to, you have to run to the pharmacy, pick stuff up, I would hit that on a Tuesday, the day where you're building strength and confidence anyway. I would address issues of health on that day, if at all possible. And then your path, the element of wood. Remember, we talked about a couple of weeks ago about how your journey is symbolized with the element of wood. Just like every tree that gets cross-cut, you would then, it got cut down, you would look at the trunk and the stump and you would see the concentric circles from the time documenting when it was a sapling to when each year was added, and that you could read kind of the life cycle. So too, we are people who start small and acquire wisdom and experience and incur different times of ebb and flow, of abundance or scarcity, and we wear and share the journey inside of us, and every year we get to develop another layer, so to speak. So the idea about your path and your journey in general, Mercury and its different energies on a Wednesday are really helpful. So if this was a time, again, Wednesday is a great day for career and path and business. If you were in a place where you really wanted to think about, well, what's next for me? Am I going to go back to school? Am I going to change careers? Am I in a phase where I'm becoming an empty nester, or maybe we're welcoming a new person? Wednesdays are the days that you might think about just your story, your journey, your path, your narrative in terms of where you're at in life. And this is a day that you might choose to lean into such items. So, as far as time management goes, and as far as your journey goes, if there was a day where you did need to be inspired and being in the forest and being around the trees, doing forest bathing for some sense of rejuvenation and self-care, I would do that on a Wednesday. That's definitely a day where you've got that great energy of Mercury. We always have those jokes about when Mercury goes retrograde and everything's just kind of feeling like we're not making progress. Remember, that's still progress. When you're spinning forward and making progress, you don't really get to assess and acknowledge until you get that contrast of Mercury in retrograde. So whenever Mercury is in retrograde, that's always a time where maybe we get pulled out of our routine and we are sometimes forced to take a little bit of altitude and look down and assess what we can do, what we can learn, how we can change it up. So hopefully these ideas have given you some insights about how you really can take charge of your health and wealth and happiness when you lean into the themes that Mother Nature offers you. And the moon is such a dreamy way to understand when it's time to advance and move forward, or when it's time to retreat and hold back. When you show up for yourself, how you show up for other people, and ways in which you can get your Dharma done. You know, you've got a little extra time here in these days of work from home. You've got a little extra bandwidth maybe in these days that we're in our houses and we're a little bit siloed. We know we're consuming content and learning every day. I hope that these little chats that we've had here in the podcast inspire you to kind of like get out of your rut and get off of your devices and see about the elements of nature and how she's here to help us. I hope that when the full moon finds you at the end of this week coming up, that you're really stepping into a spotlight, that you're really shining full and embodied with your own personal power and all of the inspiration therein. And pour one out for perseverance. Pour one out for the fact that human beings are exploring and learning more about Mars and more about our place in this beautiful universe. It has been a pleasure sharing this information with you. Please remember to like and subscribe. I absolutely adore the comments and the information that people are sending after these pieces. I mean, my goodness, somebody from Russia the other day sent out a note and I didn't know what it said, but I just sent little hearts back. And it's really a fun time to be alive and to be a human. And it's a really fun time to be a light worker and share these ideas. And I hope that all of this finds you healthy and happy and whole. And you know what? We've got 16 more episodes after this to just enjoy these concepts. And I'm really grateful to have spent some time with you. All right. So I hope that you're doing well. And I hope that you tune in next Sunday, 3:00, when we enjoy learning more about how Mother Nature is your life coach. All right. Take care. Have fun. Bye.